So, when you're being careful with your diet for kidney disease, one of the biggest challenges you run into is just getting enough energy, right? It really feels like you're walking this tightrope, trying to fuel your body without, overburdening your kidneys. So, how do we solve this puzzle? I mean, how are you supposed to get the calories you need to maintain your strength and your weight when so many of the foods that provide energy are packed with the very things you're working so hard to limit, like protein, phosphorus, and potassium? Okay, let's just dive right into this dilemma. The whole core of a renal diet is, of course, limiting specific nutrients. That's to protect your kidneys. But the big side effect of cutting back on so many foods is that it can really, really easily lead to a calorie deficit. And that can leave you feeling weak, tired, and can even cause muscle loss. But here's the good news. The goal isn't just about endless restriction. It's about being smart. It's about being strategic. It's about rebuilding your diet with a clear, medically sound plan that actually lets you get the energy you need safely. And that brings us to a really powerful expert-approved method, a simple two-step calorie strategy. Now, this isn't some random diet hack. It's a completely logical approach that's grounded in renal nutrition science. So let's break it down. The strategy is actually beautifully simple. Step 1, you focus on securing your foundation. This means getting the absolute minimum amount of essential protein, vitamins, and minerals your body needs, all from kidney-friendly sources. Then, and only then, do you move to step 2. You add clean calories on the top of that foundation, using energy sources that place almost no extra strain on your kidneys at all. And this quote just captures the philosophy perfectly. You prioritize the quality and balance of your core nutrients first. Once you've got that solid base established, then you can adjust the amount, or the total energy, by adding those kidney-friendly calories. It's a quality over quantity approach that just makes so much sense. So, the big question is, what exactly are these kidney-friendly calories? What can you add to your diet for pure energy that won't undo all your hard work? Well, the answer might not be what you expect. Yep, you're seeing that right. Refined carbohydrates. We're talking things like white sugar, white rice, and plain white flour. I know. In most health discussions, these are the villains. But in the very specific context of a renal diet, the villain actually becomes the hero. These are incredibly useful tools, and it's time we understood why. And look, this isn't just a suggestion. It's backed by solid science. There are 3 key reasons why refined carbs are the perfect energy source for this strategy. Let's break down the actual science behind it. First, it all comes down to what's not in them. Refined carbs are practically free of the big 3 things that put stress on the kidneys: protein, phosphorus, and potassium. White sugar has virtually 0 of all 3. Even white rice is incredibly low. This means you can add them for energy without even worrying about those specific nutrients. The second reason is all about how your body processes them. See, carbohydrates have a much simpler and cleaner metabolic pathway than fats. They produce fewer of what are called uremic toxins. Those are the waste products that can build up in your blood when the kidneys aren't working at full capacity. This just makes them a safer, more efficient way to get calories. And this brings us to the third and maybe most powerful point. Because refined carbs are stripped of all the extra stuff, minerals, fiber, other compounds, they are almost pure energy. You could literally call them calories that make the kidneys do almost no work. They deliver fuel without asking your kidneys to do any extra filtering. But of course, this strategy isn't a free-for-all. It has to be done with awareness and with balance. These refined carbs are a tool for a specific purpose, adding clean energy. They are not a replacement for a balanced diet. So let's go over the key precautions. First, blood sugar. Because these carbs get absorbed so quickly, it's way better to have them with other foods or in smaller portions throughout the day. Second, they lack micronutrients, which is exactly why step 1, securing your nutritional base, is so absolutely critical. And finally, calories are still calories. You need to monitor your intake to maintain a healthy weight. Okay, so that's the theory. But how can you actually put this into practice? Let's look at some simple, super effective tips you can use in your daily routine. And these are incredibly practical. For a pure calorie boost, you can simply dissolve some sugar in hot water and sip it. To make your meals more energy-dense, try mixing a little bit of healthy oil into your white rice. Or you can make simple things like steamed breads or dumplings just using plain cake flour. These are all really easy ways to add those clean calories. So the key takeaway here is this. The two-step strategy of securing your nutritional foundation first and then adding clean energy from sources like refined carbs is a medically and nutritionally sound approach. It's a really smart way to solve the kidney diet dilemma, making sure you stay energized while also protecting your health.
And that brings us to the final question to think about. Looking at your own nutritional needs, how can you apply this strategic mindset, this idea of building a solid base first and then carefully adding what you need on top, to your own diet and health journey?